next to turn these in now?
That's up to you. If you wanna turn them in, you can. If you wanna keep them to study from, you can.
I don't know what happened. I just like took a shower last night and I woke up and it was like this and I was like, okay. I'm jealous.
You want me to have that?
Sure. It's like all evenly colored today.
Yeah.
I'm not belly buttons. Belly buttons. Yes, it is spoken possible.
Movie night next Friday. Dolphin Tale. And Dead Poet Society. I tried to buy it at Target this week and they don't carry it anymore. But the library has it, so I'll check it out. I would like to own a copy though. Alright, I have their handout here. We'll go over these.
Thank you.
I put this together really late last night, so I don't think there are any mistakes, but. Okay. I added lots of more choices to the paper. Options, okay. Choose one of the following options as your animal farm assessment. Projects, papers, right there, too many S's on papers. Will be graded on effort, creativity, how well you demonstrate your understanding of the novel, and how well you complete all facets of whichever option you choose. There are many options available. Variations on any of these options must be pre-approved and your own ideas are welcome. So, let's go over, I typed up everything that was on the board that you guys came up with yesterday. The first project, create your own crash course. I would suggest watching one of John Green's YouTube videos as an example, even if you've seen it before. You know, you can get a lot of examples watching him. Create a replica / diorama of Manor Farm or Animal Farm. Create a scroll of the commandments, create a timeline of events, create a character profile, animal or human, character model. Memory box of symbolic items from novel, must include at least 10 symbols and explanations. Keep a daily journal of a character, must be at least 25 entries in the journal. Create a children's book, graphic novel, or comic book. Create a newspaper, the Manor Farm Times. Doesn't have to be called that, it's just an example. And I didn't put a required amount of articles for the newspaper, but if you choose that option, we will have to talk and communicate on how many articles would make up a newspaper. And then your paper, your essay options, all papers must be between 600 and 1,000 words and typed in MLA format. And if you're, MLA format, did you use that at Manchester, Aaron? Okay. If you need refresher on MLA format, I have a handout, or if you still have the one I gave you last year, that would be super. Write an alternate ending. What is the future of Animal Farm? What became of Snowball, a first-person account? Compare novel to actual historical events, Spanish Inquisition, French Revolution, Holocaust, American Revolution. 3 examples of irony with support. Explain the symbolism inherent in the characters' names that Orwell chose. Explain how Animal Farm is an allegory and the message that Orwell is trying to convey. Cite specific characters and actions to support your answer. Compare and contrast Napoleon and Snowball. What propaganda techniques do both use in their struggle for power? Discuss Boxer. What role does he play on the farm? Why does Napoleon seem threatened by him? In what ways is the betrayal of Boxer seen as an alternate climax to the novel, if we consider Napoleon chasing off Snowball as the climax? Orwell felt that revolutions fail and that they result only in change of tyrants. Use specific examples to trace Napoleon's rise to power and show how he is an example of Orwell's philosophy. Consider the beginning and the ending of Animal Farm. describe the process of how the pigs become more human-like and discuss what Orwell believes about human nature. Explain the price of ignorance. How are the ignorant taken advantage of? How is this advantageous to governments? So in your essay, the big topics that were touched on in the novel and that I tried to touch on in your choices were education, which is number 12, the political aspect, which is like 10 and 4, leadership, power, positions, that's on there as well. Irony, the literary term. So there is something for everyone here, hopefully. Up at the due date, it says TBA, to be announced. I was going to type in a due date, but I really like to talk to each class about what's going to work in your schedule because of your Valley commitments and so forth. So I want a rough draft due date and then, a final draft due date because I want to do
For the essays or both?
for the essays specifically. I want you to have a peer review. I think that's very valuable. As well as if you have any sections that you want me to look at. And the paper deadline might be different than the project deadline. Maybe, just for the sake of, some projects seem to take a while, maybe. We can discuss that right now. So what are your thoughts? Is a week too soon?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the week after next week, because
Okay.
it seems like every other week we have a lot of tests
Mhm.
and stuff going on, and so this week I haven't had any, but next week I'm gonna have a ton. And so
October
maybe
17th, we have an econ paper due,
When?
that-
and October 17th.
Oh,
So,
we're not, this is gonna be due way before that.
okay.
Yeah. 20, we could do a rough draft on the 30th.
That's fine.
Okay, pencil that in at the top. Rough draft to the 30th. Did you have a question, Aaron?
What about those of us who are doing a project, what exactly would that be doing?
Well, in my mind, personally, that's too soon to have a project done. I guess depending on which one you choose. Thoughts? What are you thinking?
In my opinion, it takes a lot further to do a project than it does an essay, but that's just the way I
Takes a lot
work.
more or
It
less?
takes longer for me
Me
to do an
too.
essay than a project.
Oh, to do an essay than a
Yeah.
project.
I agree with
But
that.
it's just projects are like in my realm of comfort, and so it's easy for me to do those quickly.
I wanna be fair for everyone, I don't want, not that you guys would do this, but I wouldn't want you to choose a project because it's due later, or choose an essay because, I know you wouldn't do that, and so, forgive me for saying that, but my years of public school are hard to shake. Would it be hard to bring in a rough draft of project, right,
You have to go in.
You could do like
You could bring in your ideas, I
Idea,
suppose.
Sort of like
an
an
outline,
like
yeah.
what
Yeah,
you've been working on.
but the 30th seems so far out for that, does it?
Mm-hmm. We could probably do that like tomorrow, or on Monday. Like we could probably have an outline by Monday.
Monday might be a little soon, but, let's see. Paper. I'm gonna write a paper. Rough draft. Do 9:30. Project. I'd like to see an outline or, and that's not a formal outline, so I'm not really into that, but outline ideas. I'd like to see those. How about Wednesday, the 24th? Okay. All right, and we'll go from there. Okay, I got that in my book as well. Okay. Who has kind of anyone being pulled to a certain way? Are you willing to share? Okay, sure.
I think I'm gonna do 12 on the paper and the essay one.
Which one?
Paper and essay, like the price of ignorance.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna pick 2 other books to write, like, I'll do a paragraph on Animal Farm, paragraph on Fahrenheit 451, and possibly one on Anthem,
Mhm.
and just compare all those different ways that the government.
That was one I came up with totally on my own. Some of these I got from, looking online, and I was like, I wanna do something about education. Oh, that's good, to pull in those other 2 novels, okay. And don't feel obligated to stick to that if you wanna change. Marie?
I was considering that essay too, but I came up with some really neat ideas for a storybook, a children's book, so I think I can't not take that off.
Okay.
So I think I'm probably going to do it.
Okay, and in case you didn't know this, you can buy these blank books at United Arts and Education, which is within walking distance from here.
I don't have a good choice, not very tough to.
There you go. And they're cheaper than you think,
Yeah.
like under $5, aren't
Yeah.
they? A little white blank book.
And they have them in different sizes too.
Mhm. Yeah, that's such a fun story. Okay, very good. Aaron?
There were some interesting things for the paper, but I'm still leaning more towards this project, and I'm thinking maybe the character model.
Okay. Cool. Maddie?
If I did a graphic novel, could I use collage instead of drawings?
Yes, I'm not a good drawer either, and I'm totally open to, suggestions and ideas and, yeah, graphic novels are so popular right now. Okay, anybody else have something you're drawn to? Or maybe you have your own idea. Like I said up at the top, those are certainly welcome. Okay, you don't have to decide today for sure, but, yeah.
Could you do like a poster, like over the book, like a movie poster?
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
Yeah. Yes,
I
you
think
could.
I did that one.
I even also, as soon as I get this typed, I think of other ideas. Like, you could do a whole political campaign for one of the candidates.
Could you like, give a speech about why you should
Yeah.
go? Oh my gosh.
You could do, posters, signs, buttons, like you were Napoleon or Snowball's campaign manager. Or
That would be
whoever, a
really
boxer,
cool.
or whoever, because that's what you do when you run for office. You campaign, you give speeches, you debate.
You'd be super obnoxious about that.
It would be,
It would be really funny.
yeah, it would, or you could get with a friend and one of you be Boxer or Snowball and one of you be Napoleon and we could actually have a
That would be
debate.
really funny.
I mean, it would
That would
be,
need to be videotaped.
it would,
To like pass out buttons around the school and stuff.
yeah, like vote for me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like dress up as the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy one of those like
Oh my
horse
gosh.
masks that you can wear.
Yes.
Yeah, and that would get the younger kids interested
They would really like
in
that,
reading
yeah.
Animal Farm, I'm gonna end that. So, that's why I really like this book. It's good for history and English. Didn't you say you read it in history class? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Do you guys remember when, I don't know what grade I put it on, but Double Helix was on one of the summer readings?
I remember.
That's
Sydney
right.
read it, I think. Serving.
Yeah, at Southside, they read that in science instead of in English. It really threw the freshmen off.
That's how
They're
my
like,
mom taught when we were homeschooled.
Yeah.
Every subject we just read books to learn about them, and I loved that.
Love that, yeah. And, half the freshmen loved it, half of them hated it. They're like, why are we reading in science? This is stupid, we aren't reading science. And I'm like,
Why
what does it
wouldn't you
matter?
want to? Yeah.
Um,
It's easier that way.
It's about, but then once they got into it, they're like, okay, I get it, it's about a disease, blah, blah, blah. And then we did a research paper from the disease, so it kind of all tied in together. But it's hard to get students to think that you can read across the curriculum, you know, instead of just in English class. So, anyway, all right. But I am gonna let you know, we're gonna go ahead and start our next novel while you're, working on projects. And I probably will give you some time in class to get your ideas together, or, talk with someone, or think about your paper and run ideas by me or whatever, or each other. So, any questions? Keep your novels, your Amazon novels, until we turn the paper in, because you might want to look something up or spell something or whatever. Okay, yeah,
Could I bring an Anthony Bennett with you on book home?
absolutely. Yeah,
Chloe
I
has
see
a.
Anthem's right there. I may have put,
I can use
oh,
Chloe's if I
451,
need to.
right, they're reading it, that's
Yeah.
why I can't find it over there. Okay, very good. Your next book, I'm adding a book to the, because we didn't have 5. We're gonna read Grendel. Have you ever heard of Grendel?
Sounds really familiar.
You've heard of Beowulf?
Yes.
Grendel is the monster that Beowulf fights. So, we have copies, or the school had copies, long before I came, so we won't have to buy any. And it's from Grendel's perspective. It's interesting. It's a Brit Lit book, so it fits right in. I think maybe Zagata read it when he taught here to the Brit Lit students. Somebody did, because you have plenty of copies in that storage room, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, that would work really well. If you haven't read Beowulf or seen the Beowulf movie, had Angelina Jolie in it. She was actually Grendel's mom in the movie. And the way the movie was made was very different. Did anybody see it? Oh. Maybe I'll have to show it. Maybe. Before we read Grendel. Have you heard of Beowulf?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know the story.
Okay. It's a pretty famous Brit Lit. It's in all Brit Lit. If you were in public school your senior year, you would read Beowulf. It's set, Marnie,
this isn't like something you'd have to do, but like, wouldn't it be interesting if like half the class were to read something like book Beowulf and half the class would read?
And then we could have a debate.
Grendel.
Ooh, that would be
Because then
cool.
it's two different perspectives.
Mhm.
Do we have, like, 2 money for that? No?
Well,
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be absolutely even.
Yeah.
It would be cool, I like that idea, but it would also be cool if we could read both.
Yeah, just like switch.
Because it's important to see, it's hard to be on a bad guy's side,
Mm-hmm.
but then
I
when
think if you read, people who read Grendel first would feel more for him reading Beowulf afterwards.
And when you read the bad guy's side, whatever
Mhm.
situation is, you understand why they're the way they are.
It's like freshman summer, I read Fairest of Them All, which is like the Snow White perspective from the evil queen.
I think Chloe read it this summer.
Yeah, I recommend it to her.
Sounds
She liked
really
it.
interesting.
It was like I don't know, I bought it in Disney World.
Yeah.
It looked interesting, and it was one of the best books I've read. Like, I mean, it's fictional, but who cares? Like, it was a really good story.
Yeah, when she was describing that, the first week of school, that sounds really
There were
interesting.
some good themes in it and stuff. I mean, like, you could write a solid paper on it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And it's set in like the Viking time, and the movie, the animation is what made the movie probably the most famous, the way they did it. You should Google it this weekend and just watch a scene from it. I could probably show a scene too, but So Grindel's on our list, and we have a Shakespeare play, and, what else should I tell you?
Brave New World.
Brave New World. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's good, but it's like Fahrenheit 451 to the 100th degree. It's pretty intense. The themes in it are kind of disturb people. So, I need to decide what we're gonna do next, but, we will have to start it while working on this project, of course. Yeah.
Can we not do like that next, because we're gonna be working on a project?
Yeah.
Just preference wise?
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
because I would rather do that when I can focus.
Right, I won't hit you with Shakespeare while you're doing Shakespeare, yeah, you're right, you can't multitask while you're doing Shakespeare. Even though the books are awesome, the No Fear Shakespeare. So, we will probably do something lighter than that. Lighter in, I mean, Grendel and Brave New World aren't exactly light, but, they're in our language, at least, so that's pretty good. Do you have any questions or thoughts or comments? I'm gonna let you look these over and talk about them, ask me, yeah.
When we bring in like the outline for ideas, would it be okay to like, if we have our project, to like take a picture of it and show you? Like,
Oh, sure.
Come in and show you the picture so
Sure.
you can kind of see the work that's going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, cause you don't wanna transport it and,
Yeah.
Mess it
Well,
up.
and sometimes explaining it doesn't really like
that's a good idea,
explain what you're trying to do.
good idea. Yeah, or, if you wanted to email me the picture, that would work
Yeah.
too.
That would be
And I could print it off and show people if you wanted me to. It's a good idea. Yeah. Because sometimes the projects can be rather large and rather cumbersome. And I don't want you to mess it up if it's in the middle of being created, certainly. Anything else? Who got pictures at Black Pine yesterday? Pretty much everybody? We'll definitely want to put that in the yearbook. Okay, under like the Imaginarium section, so, my phone only let me take like 5, and then my memory's pretty full, but, so hopefully, I know Hannah got a bunch, and I saw a lot of people taking pictures, so when it comes time to start the yearbook, we usually just have everybody, send